What is screener questionnaire? The screener questionnaire is very essential, especially when you are using the purposive sampling technique. What is purposive sampling technique?
It means you will select only those who fit into the criteria of study. You don't select every person. If you want to use purposive sampling, for instance, it means that you're going to be judgmental in selecting those you're going to study from an entire population. So to select those you will study from the entire population, you may need to ask certain questions. That is, if you are using purposive sampling, you will need to use screener questionnaire to determine those that will be part of your study. You are not using systematic sampling. You are using purposive sampling. You are trying to be judgmental, which means everyone in the population will not have equal chance of being selected. That is what it means. So in this case, you will need a screener questionnaire, and the screener questionnaire has to do with initial questions that you ask the elements in the population, initial questions you ask members of the population to determine whether they fit into the criteria of study. You use the screener questionnaire to facilitate purposive sampling technique. If you want to study only heavy users of the internet, you can't walk into a population of study and begin to study everybody. You need to ask initial questions to select only those who will be part of the study. You are looking for only heavy users of the internet. They are the ones who will study. And that is where screener questionnaire comes in. You use it to screen the population, screen out those who are not qualified, and then select those who are qualified for the study until you get the number you want to study. So screener questionnaire is used to qualify or disqualify respondents from being part of your study. You use the screener questionnaire to qualify or disqualify respondents from being part of your study. Example I used, you want to study only light users of the internet, or you want to study those who have been exposed to a particular message on maybe coronavirus or maybe a specific advert. You use the screener questionnaire to determine those who have actually been exposed to the issue you want to study, or those who make use of a particular gadget. It depends on what you want to study, but to use purposive sampling to select them based on the criteria of study, you will need a screener questionnaire. That the screener questionnaire helps the researcher decide who becomes part of the survey based on the target audience you want to hear from. You want to do a study on exposure to foreign news networks and its influence on local news consumption. So you have to first find out those who are actually exposed to foreign news network. You can't just walk into the population and start studying everybody, because there may be some who may not have even seen or been exposed to any foreign news network. So you have to use the screener questionnaire to determine who and who are exposed to foreign news network before they become part of the study. That's what we're saying here. Now you use the screener questionnaire to select those that will be part of your study based on the yardsticks for that study. Just make sure that the questions you ask fit into the criteria for the study, that each question addresses one yardstick.
Let's look at an example of screener questionnaire.
Information seeking among diabetes patients in Oshobo. And then you could have such questions as, do you have diabetes? Do you live in Oshobo? How long have you had diabetes? Do you seek information on diabetes? What type of diabetes do you have? Type A or type B? Are you willing to be part of the study? It's always good to ask them in the screener questionnaire. You ask them whether they want to be part of the study, so that officially the person will be giving you a go ahead to make him or her part of the study. So somebody who wants to do a study on information seeking among diabetes patients in Oshobo cannot just walk into Oshobo and start using systematic sampling to do the study. You need to select those who have the ailment you want to study. And that is why the screener questionnaire will be essential here. So the screener questionnaire is used to qualify or disqualify people in that population who will be part of your study, who will be part of the sample size that you're going to study. The screener questionnaire is always very essential in your study, especially if you're using the purposive sampling to identify those you're going to study.